Welcome to Life and Stories Network.
It is about life and stories.
Hello, my name is Kay and I'm your host.
Wonderful, man. I'm Mlonda John Pelone, better known as JP, and together with our co-host and our technical staff, yes, and Mr. Mfundisi, how are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm all right, and you?
Ahmed, I'm doing well. How was your week?
Up to so far, my week was awesome, I can't complain, And yours?
Ahmed, I'm just smooth. It's just hard work there, and they've got to do that. And Kay, how are you?
I'm good, Johnny. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Yes, that's good.
That's wonderful. And today again, we continue with our stories, because this is life, remember. So whilst we live in life, we write books about our lives. We write whatever that happens in life. So why not? Even today we go on to also have a guest, and let me just take this time and opportunity to say thank you very much for coming. Can you just say hello to the viewers at home?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
Wonderful, man. You look relaxed, man. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we once more run again this episode and say these are life stories, and we are taking people who own these stories.
Yeah.
Everyone, everywhere owns a story.
Yes.
So why not? We also start today. I'll take the opportunity to say thank you very much for honoring the invitation, because I know it wouldn't be easy for people to tell the story, for people to know out there that something happened to me, or I'm happy about this. So I just want to share the happiness, share the story with somebody else. But again, let me just give you the opportunity to floor, and maybe tell us about yourself, your name, where you come from, to this point.
Okay, my name is Ntombizanele Rimufilwe. I'm from Mafikeng. I come from a family of, six at home actually. It's my mom, and she has 5 kids, 4 girls and 1 boy. Yeah, we all grew up in Mafikeng, in a village called Motlhabeng. That's where I grew up.
Yeah, that's basically it. I hear you talking about grow up. How was it being? Because you're talking about 5, right?
Yeah.
How was it?
It's a big family.
Yeah, it's a very big one.
But in the olden days, it was nice when like you have a bigger family. You as a siblings, having siblings, and all those kind of thing. These days, you find that we are only like about 2 or 3 in a family, and which is at some point I feel like it makes it a little bit of awkward, or maybe you are alone. Once your parents lose you, then it becomes a problem. They cannot stop grieving. But I don't say I justify the issue of being many doesn't mean parents won't grieve when they have lost their daughter or their son. Yes. But I feel like when there were many, even when you lose one, you still got some. Even some like siblings, they can be able to comfort one another.
But Kay, together with Muruti and I don't know, today, even if you've got 2 kids, people would say it's too much.
Yes, because everything is expensive.
Oh, is it about having this expensive
because things
the economy?
have changed from the olden days to now. Now you have to buy the formula, you have to buy Pampers. Remember, in the olden days we were using those diapers that you can just wash and dry them.
Oh, yeah.
Now we use Pampers. This is like how much? 200 and something.
200 and something.
Doesn't even last. The whole month. 2 weeks is long.
Yeah.
Yes. And now you have to buy the formula because now we are working. We are working moms. Remember in the olden days, our mothers would leave us with our grandmothers. Now our grandmothers, the grandmothers of our kids are also working.
Yeah, the way the economy
is. Either taking the children to school or you find the nanny for it. So it's expensive in this era.
But how do you explain that in terms of the relationship you had? I know there must be some favoritism somewhere. I love this one more than this one.
I click with this one.
This one we don't get along. But it's my brother, but we don't get along.
Yes.
We don't.
You know, one thing about me, I hear you saying people are having 2 kids now because things are expensive and all. I don't think that is the reason at all.
Oh, what's the reason?
Okay.
I think it's more like can I say psychologically,
Oh, okay, yes.
how I was raised with 8 kids at home, with 8 siblings, can determine how many kids I want to have in the future. I've seen myself growing. At home, I'm the youngest.
Oh, yeah.
Are you the
And
last
then-
one?
Yes.
Okay.
And then can I say, the first 3 siblings,
Yeah.
they are seriously older than me.
Oh, okay. Oh, seriously.
They are seriously older than me. It's my first sister is 18 years older than me.
Okay.
Wow.
The second one is 16 years older than me. And then there's my brother who's 13 years older than me.
Yes.
And
Jeez,
then
man.
the one that comes before me, she's 6 years older than me. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so there's a gap. There's a gap.
Very, very big
So
one.
what I've realized is people don't have 2 kids because expensive is just a story, honestly. We are shying away from the fact that, growing up with 5 kids, I've seen my mom giving this one attention.
Oh, yes.
And just not me. I've seen myself being isolated. Back in the days, our parents can just have 5 kids with 5 different men. It was possible even back in the days.
Yeah.
And it's still happening even now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I've seen myself having daddy issues, abandonment issues, being needy, being less than other kids. All those things, when I sit down and then I'm trying to digest all this, then I feel like, you know what, I don't want my kids to go through the same thing. So if I were to have 3 kids, how will I handle sharing my whole love equally to 3 kids? I mean, we have 100%. Somebody's gonna get 40, and then the other 2 can get 30.
So that's possible.
It is possible.
You get 100, but you divide it unequally so.
Exactly. It is happening.
Like, not me cutting you out. I believe also it's all about how also your children respond towards you or towards the rules that you give them. I believe that the love proceed from the how you divide your love towards them. Like when this one is obedient, you always will choose that one or prefer that one because why? She listens. Yeah, she respects. Yes,
yeah.
obedience. As you know, even when we go when we read the scriptures or the word, it will tell you that once you obey to my command, it means you are loved because of you become obedient to your parents.
Yes.
Yeah, once you become obedient a child, then I think that's where the
You
most
associate
of
yourself,
love, that's the most of love. That's when your parents will give. But I'm not saying, sometimes it depends that you find that your parent or your mother or your father, she doesn't just get along with you, just like that. Not to say that you are disrespecting or anything like that. But in most of occasion is the issue of are you obedient to them or not? You understand? I think that's where you get the most love.
Yeah.
But also, a child can be born and then you find that when the child was born, the parents were having issues. Then you find that the parents, a child is being neglected or something like that. Yeah, that's my take also on that.
I think Rudy, on that issue, I think also is when you're pregnant, sometimes you lose the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Then when you fall pregnant again, you want to treat this one special because you lost the first one and you had a fear of
It's like you're
losing.
replacing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like you're replacing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the things that the pregnancies are different. So sometimes it's the things that you went through during your pregnancies and your labors. And you just want to protect this one because you feel you went through a lot with this one. Even with other kids, if it was easier with them. But I think sometimes it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back to your story again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can hear you, but sometimes it's not always the issue. Me, when I grew up at home, I was obviously the last one to go to school because I was young. And then my mom, when she had me, she already had 4 kids. Before I was born, she was married to my dad. And then, sometimes our parents get married and then things just don't work out.
Yeah.
Things just don't work out, and then you find that there are stories and drama and whatsoever surrounding all those stories.
Yes.
So growing up, my parents got married before I was born. Well, that's what I've seen from their marriage certificate.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how do I know that. They got married and then they had me, and then I grew up. I can say about 5 years of my life in that marriage, or 4. I'm not sure. They got divorced when I was. No, they got divorced when I was 4.
Okay.
Wow.
They got divorced when I was 4. From how it seemed, like my mom got married first, and then she came back home.
Okay.
She built her own house.
All right.
And then when she got married to my dad, they moved into that very same house. So when they divorced, my dad had to take whatever that is his and leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were not married in community of property.
They were, I think. I don't know. But
Okay.
what I know is, I don't know about their marital contract.
Agreement and
no.
yeah. So,
You know, because these divorces can be messy and what. I don't know. I don't know what is going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when my dad left, he just took what's his and then he left.
Mm-mm.
He left. I remember growing up, our house was a 3-room house, and then at the back there was a shack there.
yes.
And then I remember, I still have that picture in my head. When my dad was moving out, there came a lorry there, and then they took all they broke down that shack there and then took all that material on the bed. That's when he was leaving. I still have that memory in my head.
Oh, but you were still young.
I was
Yeah.
I also.
I always tell people that I remember so many things. My brain just worked differently.
No, most of people sometimes, or most of kids, they do remember. Especially like also I used to remember like the first day when I go to like when I was going to preschool or crèche or something like that. I still have those memories. What happened the first day when my mom dropped me, and it was like about 5 or so. There are some memories. That's why even when you take your child to preschool, they will tell you that stop doing this and this, or stop bullying. Like if maybe you are having a toxic relationship or a marriage, they will tell you that these things, it will just bring trauma to the kids. Like our memories works, or as young as you are, the memories still start to capture, start to register. Some other things you will recall them even when you are older. Yeah.
But I want to come back to the point where you saw everything that happened. Fine, you are 4 years. It's not like you are old. You are still young. You've got to absorb, and you've got to say, I've got to agree to everything, because in an instance they won't even ask you, right? If how you feel and everything. How did that affect you? Like, I know it will be something you would say. This was the feeling, but it affected you in some way.
I can't say I understood what was happening.
All right, yes.
Because the picture that I have in my head was when my dad put all those corrugated irons on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the back, yes.
And then
the truck.
they left. And then it was probably the last time we saw him at home.
But before you go on, what were you thinking? Like, did you see something happen? Or did you see, okay, something is happening here, like it's wrong, maybe it's right, I don't know. Did you do you remember something there?
No, honestly, I don't. Like
But
in my head at the time, because when my dad moved out, my mom started building.
Oh, okay.
So the confusion at that time was probably material going, material coming in.
Oh, materials.
But then when you grow up and then it clicks. Oh, that was the time. You understand?
Yeah.
And then when you grow up, that's when it clicks. Oh, so he was actually moving out that time.
Oh, later on.
It came back later. That time when I saw it happening, to me, it was that time. Material coming in, material going out.
Oh.
Okay, maybe that's just date. Because, like I said, our house was just a 3-room house. And then my mom, when my dad left, she started extending the house.
Mm-hmm.
So to my head, maybe it was just that material are coming, other things are going. But then I realized later on, oh, it was my dad living. He was living at the time. So yeah. But the funny part is, he didn't go far. He just left at this village to move into the next village, not far. It's a walking distance, I can say that.
Mm.
Yeah. It's just a walking distance. I can say moving from Lefaraghatle to Phokeng.
Yeah, if somebody knows Rustenburg.
Yeah, if somebody knows Rustenburg,
Yeah.
you are moving from Lefaraghatle to Phokeng. So that is just what was happening at the time. Yeah, that's the only thing that just happened to stay in my head, and then I remember that, and then later on, and then came back. Oh, I made sense of the situation.
made sense of it, but later on.
Later on.
Yeah. But what did you do about the situation? To say this happened. What did you get? What did you maybe gather as something to learn from? Something maybe to say it's a story to keep in your mind, because you don't forget these things, right?
Yeah.
So now because you remembered, what did you get from that?
Honestly, I'd say nothing.
Is it?
Why would I say nothing? Because growing up, I told you my siblings are way too old. Growing up, I was attached to my second sister.
Oh yeah, second.
At some point, she was breastfeeding me. They didn't have milk, but she was giving it to me.
Is it?
And then somewhere at the back of my head, probably thought she was my mom or something. But because I was attached to her, whatever that was happening between my mom and my dad, it was it's happening, but it doesn't affect me. You know, for the longest time I was attached to her. So I remember even when we used to visit my grandmom from my dad's side, I'll go with her. So you understand, if a child can grow next to you, close to you, become that attached to you, at some point the bond becomes stronger between you and the child.
Oh yes, true.
Yeah, I think that was what was happening. The bond became stronger between me and my sister than my mom and I, because from what I've realized and how I happened to see my mom growing up, I realized that divorce left a mark, left a wound. So probably that was the reason why I don't know, I wasn't that much attached to her, you understand? Because me at home, my age mates was my niece and my nephew.
Okay, yeah.
My niece and my nephew. The other one was 3 years younger than me, and then the other one was born 5 years later.
Okay.
And then this one that was born 5 years later, that's my second sister's daughter. And then growing up, she was my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, that is just that. The relationship between Mama, yes, she was my mom, but I think even her, she saw me as a grandchild.
Is it?
Wow.
That's how I feel. Because between me and the nephew and the niece, to her there was no difference.
Okay.
You were just
I think I
one
get
person.
you.
So I would like to go back again to the allocation of that 100% you talked about. According to you, how much were you given in 100?
No, growing up, honestly, I feel like I'm ignored, man. I felt
So totally ignored.
No, not totally, ne? But I felt like you know, have you ever been in a room? Let's say there are people who actually hate dead in their lives. Like you're in a family and then you feel like, but it's like I don't belong here.
Okay, you feel that, right?
Yeah, I honestly, on my own, I felt that. And then, from what I realized, my dad wasn't my favorite person to my siblings. I don't know how nasty he was to them, I don't know. But,
So they were not getting along.
yeah, there was that rift. There was that.
Was it from your sister's side or your father's side?
My siblings, I can't say it. I can't speak on the behalf of my dad.
Yes.
Because he was hardly around at home.
Okay.
I guess they got divorced, and then after the divorce, honestly, I only happened to see this man twice a year at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was coming in and out.
Yeah, he was coming, spending time here and then go. It wasn't. We didn't really honestly have that relationship, because even where I was staying, like I said, he moved to a different village. Where he was staying, it was next to my uncle's house, and then I would just pass by
Uncle's house again.
It was
So,
close
yeah.
by.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just pass and go to my uncle's house. I pass him there, doing whatever that he's doing in his yard, and just greet like I'm greeting another man.
Another man.
And
I know
pass.
that. That's
Wow,
nice.
this is
I
too
just
much.
greet him like, okay, Ahera, and pass. We don't have communication. Like,
No,
oh,
I
my daughter, how are you?
I want to get
How
this.
is cool?
Did you say you just greeted like that's like a stranger, like
Like a normal person from the village.
Yeah.
Like any other man that I know,
Yes.
we greet.
But how did you
Never
come to
lie,
that point to
never
say you take the decision to yourself to do that? Like,
No, it's not a
I don't
Remember she's a child.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm
The
saying
thing
because-
is, you know one thing people especially parents don't get. It's not a child's responsibility to build a relationship with a parent.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
You gave birth to this little human being.
Yeah.
It's your duty to bond. It's your duty to have a relationship. It's your duty to teach your child to communicate with you.
Yeah.
So if you've never done that, then where would you take? Where would I take it from?
Yeah,
I just
because
know him, man.
she's blank. She doesn't know anything.
then
How
I-
can I be able to build something that I'm not aware of, that I don't understand? Like
That
it's
is
like-
supposed to exist.
that's supposed to exist. Remember, you are young. You are old. I'm young. So who's supposed to teach someone?
Yes, it's
The
it's
older
my
one's supposed to teach.
responsibility
Yeah,
that.
it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
The younger one, they don't have a responsibility unless I understand. I've
Yeah.
grown. I've matured. Then that's when I can take some responsibility, building a relationship with someone. But if I'm young, then it's something else.
You know, for me, it's weird. Hence, I'm asking this question again. I listen to your story and it's interesting at the same time. Hence, I'm asking, is it so normal to do that? You know. Hence, I'm asking. I'm asking because, Kay, I don't know if you get my point on this. On this
I
side.
get your point,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
in South Africa it's normal.
What
You
can
greet,
we
you
say?
greet your father as stranger.
No, you're not treating your father like a stranger. Your
No,
father
I'm
is
saying
treating
you
like a
greet,
stranger.
right?
Yes, like I
yeah.
said. But remember, if you are a child, you this person is supposed to make the means to get to know you.
Uh-huh.
You are a child. I'll only be able to do that later, maybe after my 20s. Then I'll ask him, why don't you want to have a relationship with me and whatnot. But when I'm a child, he's supposed to do that. I mean, I know.
It's
I don't
actually
know.
his duty.
my-
Exactly.
yes.
Yes. Imagine then. Imagine then. Maybe let's say she did not pass by or greet and pass by.
Uh-huh.
Ne? Imagine she greeted and enter and she was rejected.
Yes.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
How will it be?
If your
Would
dad
you
asks
live
you,
with the
what are you
feeling
doing
again?
here?
Hey, what are you doing here?
What do you want?
What do you want?
But again, no, I get the question, but wouldn't it be something to try and do? Wouldn't it be?
Would you think of doing something like that at the age of 5, 6, 7?
No, I'm saying the thinking is it's also one of the question you would be asking, like, would I do that at the age of 5 and so on? But
Because
whilst you are staying at
it
home,
starts here.
Yeah,
It starts
whilst
when
you-
you're still young.
yeah, whilst you are at
And then
home,
once
you
you
call
get
your-
used to it from being that young, you grow up with it. It's your life.
so whilst you are young, did you ever call your dad dad?
That's really bad. We used to call him Tate Mama.
Oh, okay.
And then I was also one of those people who called him the same way. Tate Mama with Lile.
Oh,
Tate
so the
Mama.
belief was saying that the mama.
But deep at the back of my head, I knew that he's my dad.
You knew. You see now, it comes back to what I've been saying, guys. You understand? Hence, it's a weird part, but you can continue it's fine.
Yeah, but in the back of my head, I knew he's my dad. But then
Oh, you knew it.
how I guess I'm growing up with siblings. They
Yeah.
are calling him Tate Mama, and then
Yeah.
I also flow with them Tate Mama. He used to come at home. I remember when I was 5, 6. Ne? My mom there was another woman who was saying Nespray. Yeah. My mom used to buy me that milk. I used to drink milk. I was a kid. When he come by, he has to come, and then we go to Mama to get Nespray and bring it home.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only activity that ever existed at the time. I only had the relationship with the man after my matric.
Jeez, you were how old?
I did my matric when I was 17, so I was actually 18 when... 17, 8, yeah.
Who initiated the relationship?
I remember when I was doing my matric, usually he was that person who would come maybe once, twice a year. And then when I was doing my matric, he used to come kind of frequent, not that much, but that limit has increased. Okay, he is coming, because I remember I was having problems with my eyes, and then he took me to the doctor. And then he used to take me for all those checkups and whatnot.
Okay.
But the relationship was still not there. It was just me seeing him as, Tate Mama, as my father. But, sometimes he just pass by and then he greets and then he pass. He comes in, greet us, and then he pass. He come, greet us, and then he pass. And then the relationship between him and I started after my matric. I remember I was going to varsity. And then when I got to varsity, there's this registration thing, you know.
Yeah.
My mom took an early retirement.
Oh,
He
yeah.
left work. She left work because she was medically unfit at the time, and then there's no income at home. The income, okay, the little salary she got from the government was honestly not enough.
Yeah,
It's
by
not,
then it was not that
it was
much,
not.
yeah.
It's not the kind of money that you can say I can take an edge loan for my child and pay. Njani.
Can't.
So there was this thing about registration at school. I was trying to force things. Honestly, you know.
Yeah.
If you've been to Northwest University, you know how rector's office will be full of kids, and then at that time that man, when he see tears, he just gave in. But then at the time I was trying, and then something at the back of my head. Oh, then one day I went to Edulone. My mom wanted to inquire there. And then they told us that, no, we need a pay slip, we need this, we need that. And then I just told my mom, you know what? We are going to get this man from his job. He's coming to sign here. I went to look for him. When I got there, he was working in a government department somewhere.
Okay.
They told us, no, he's at school doing what somewhere there. We went to that school. We couldn't find him. The following day, I was patient. Oh, I was patient. We went again. I told Mama, you know what? The thing is, growing up at home, none of my siblings went to varsity. Now, me seeing myself having my beautiful matric, being able to get to varsity, and then I had to take these results and sit down.
You can't do that.
No. We have to break a curse somewhere. We have to break the cycle somewhere. And then we went to his job again the following day. And then the following day, we couldn't get him at where they said he's busy at school. And we got to the office and spoke to the HR. The HR there was a lady. I sat on the chair and cried my lungs out. Because I felt like these people, they don't want to tell me where this man is.
Yeah.
I sat on the chair and I cried my lungs out. The following day we left.
But did it help you crying that day?
Honestly did. Because the following day we went back to varsity. Mom saying she's gonna make the arrangement with the school, regarding how that time my registration was like, was it 4.5?
Maximum was 5.
Was 5,000.
Yeah.
5,000.
Yeah, because the most expensive course I think it was BSc with 14.5, and then we went there with my mom, and then I don't know when he got to work, maybe somebody called him and told him that your daughter was here and your daughter was crying. He came to Unipo to look for us.
Yeah.
When he got to campus, I saw him from a distance and I was asking him, Mama, I must say that person looks like, and I said, no, let's go and see.
Hey.
What is he doing here? Because after crying the day before, I was at a point, honestly, I was at a point of giving up.
Oh, yeah.
And then
But that hope came back again when you saw.
we went to his car and then he came out. No, they told me you were looking for me. Yes, we were. This is what he said to me. What. He took me by his hand, went to Edulone to inquire about the whole thing. And then from there, and then my mom left us there. And then he took me by his hand and said, I want to show you where I stay. And then where he was staying at that time, at that particular year, he moved from that house where I used to cook him to another house. And then he showed me the woman, the family. And then he said to me, whenever you want me, this is where you find me. And then for the first time, I had his phone numbers.
Okay.
For the first time.
But for the first time when you went to his home, how was the feeling like? The response, because you found people there, right?
That home where he was staying at the time, it was a new home.
Oh.
It was another wife, apparently.
Okay.
A new wife, a new different wife now.
Did you know about it?
No.
Okay. No, nothing.
Honestly, I didn't know. I only heard. And then when we got there, I saw the wife and then the daughter to that wife, and then and then he told me to keep with him. He started to frequently want to know how I'm doing, where am I, because for the first time we had each other's phone numbers.
Oh, yeah.
How I'm doing, how was life, how is everything.
That kind of communication.
That kind of communication is something that never happened. And mind you, my father had his other kids. They were older than me, I was the youngest.
Okay.
The relationship, honestly, I felt like I wish I had the relationship he had with, that I thought he had with them.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
growing around him, getting to know him, knowing when they are happy, knowing when they are sad. Because even at home, like I said, I wasn't that close with my mom when I was young. My mom and I, we only got that much close. You know, sometimes, like my old Muruti earlier said that sometimes your obedience buy your parents' love.
Yeah.
I felt like that was the case for me.
Oh, yes.
It was my obedience because I mean, 19 years, the only thing that I'd say it was me harassing my mom was just me going to church and me going to school, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that wealth adolescent that our teenagers are now having. Now my home was a church.
Wow.
I was at home, I was at church, I was at school. Car.
And that
Nothing
made
much.
you a woman.
And I think that's what actually brought my mom closer to me.
To say she listens.
And feel like, oh my God, I've been ignoring a treasure here.
Yeah.
I feel like that was okay. Like, hey, I've been ignoring a treasure here. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it became that close then. Yeah.
And then about your dad, because now you're getting to know your dad. If he explains to you, what was he saying in terms of saying, okay, this is my child, but you've never had chance to know each other from this day up until now? Because you're saying it's after matric, right?
Yeah.
But what did he say for himself? Because you are saying it because it's your story today, you are telling the story. But I want to know, did you get a story from your father? Did you get a story?
Let me tell you, my dad was a Xhosa man. What he'd say is, I can't tell you what happened between you and my mom.
Yes.
You and your mom. It was our relationship, not yours.
Not yours.
Yeah. And then he would also tell me that I can't tell you why I was never frequent at your home, why I was never there in your life. Because if I tell you that now, I don't want you to change how
Things
you
between
see
the
me
two,
now.
yeah.
Or if I give you a story, my side of the story with your mom, you start to resent your mom because of what I said. I don't want to. The only thing he would say is, I don't want to ruin what is already here now. He's not telling me why he didn't have time for me. He's not telling me why he divorced with my mom. He's not telling me anything. His whole focus was the here and now.
The now, so we just need to move
You know,
on.
traditional men believe that talking about some things with your child is disrespectful.
Yeah.
I think that is where he was going with this.
So even now, you don't know what happened. You don't know.
He
everything.
would never tell me.
But accordingly to you, would you tell your child about your divorce and or why the dad had his dad or her dad was not there in their life, or kind of story? Do you think is it wiser to open to them that what really transpired? I think even him not opening up, maybe he was, like you said, like he was fearing that you will begin to take
Your dad, and you talked about your street, how you had the relationship with your mom, and how you did not want to hear why, the reasons why they got divorced. That's because maybe it might even jeopardize the relationship you have with your mom. So can we continue from there? Because you also talked about the 3 houses, and then we continue from there. The houses you talked about, where you stayed.
Oh, like I was saying, when I was growing up, I saw my mom as a supermom.
Yeah.
I saw her as a supermom because single-handedly, she built a house. single-handedly, she raised kids, including grandkids, in that very same
Therefore,
house.
she's Superman.
Man,
Yeah,
That's the role model.
man, the only thing she needed was wings.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know, very trouble.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that's how I always saw her. So, you know, my dad not telling me about what transpired in their marriage. Oh, I was grateful.
Yeah.
And I respected that man for that. I felt like, huh? Or probably he saw her the same way I saw her. But I respect the fact that he didn't tell me all those sob stories. You know how people can cry victims at sometimes.
Yes.
You know how sometimes men maltreat women. Because I could feel that, man, there's a story here because why would he be married to my mom? And then only my second sister, the one that I told you I was attached to, had a relationship with him. What about my elder sister and the other
That's what
sister?
happened to the
What about my brother? With my brother it was even worse. What exactly happened here? But you know, the fact that I was not told, I thought, it's okay.
You even feel now like you don't need it.
Even now I don't need the story. Honestly, I don't need, because from after my matric, when I built a relationship with him, I started to know him, and then I started to see him, I don't know, differently. I'm one person, when I'm with you, I get to know you by communicating. We were communicating.
Yes.
I got to know him better. I remember my father actually died 2021.
Sorry about that.
We were at the funeral, and then I was with the siblings from his side. And then when we were sitting there, I realized, okay, so these people grew around this man, with this man, in the same house with this man. And they have no idea who he was as much as I did, because I believe in talking.
So you built that relationship, you know him.
Yes.
But that's
I still do. I believe in talking.
Yeah.
I get to know you more by talking to you. Because once you see me not talking to you, it means I'm not interested in knowing who you are.
Then something is wrong.
Yes. And you know, I'm one person, not the one person was quite child. I was so quiet. I still like
Really?
I'm still quiet. I'm still quiet.
Muruti, she does not look like a quiet person.
I'm not the kind of person who initiates conversations.
Conversations, yes.
You know? But I can try, but if you don't flow with me, there's no way I'm going to flow. Right? There's no I'm going to continue asking questions.
Yeah.
So I realized, hey, so this man, the relationship I built with this man, it was bigger than I thought, because I happen to know things about him. You know, even at the funeral, people will be writing an obituary there. And then even his family, they are writing the obituary there, and I feel like, hey, these people are lying about my dad. What did they write here? Yeah, like some things just don't make sense. They only remember him as this man who worked at a particular department. But then I remember, no. This man told me he came here when he was this old, and then when he got here, he was staying. Stories he used to tell me, he was staying in a train until he even worked at a railway.
So you know he told you the stories, but they are not there. They are not written.
They are not written. You know why? My dad left his home when he was still should I say a boy? Yeah, but he was
very young.
Yeah, he was young. That's when he left home. He was telling me stories, even how he left home.
But today you are smiling. I'm getting a sense here to say you are so confident today to talk about these stories. But I'm concerned about the funeral you're talking about, because for you today you are saying we had a funeral, and then people are here, people are talking about the things that are not there, people have written things that are not there, and I know these things. But when it hits you, how did you mingle around the issue to say, okay, my dad is no more? Because I get that part where you just jump in. It's for you to simple to them, my dad's gone, and were you saying, okay, you marry my dad instead?
I'm built different. You know, Muruti, we were told at Sunday school that you don't have to cry like people who don't have hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So that okay. You can continue.
So many things can happen in my life now, and then I'm gonna talk about them 3 months down the line and still love.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my level of detachment or moving on or healing should be investigated. I don't know, but
Should be investigated.
my feelings need to be investigated sometimes. But I move.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? Me moving on so many things. I'm not doing anybody a favor but myself.
Yeah.
Because I need to be a healed woman, a sane woman to raise a sane child.
Okay.
Because what I've realized, it all starts up here. If I let everything affect me, if I let pain to affect me to a point that it's going to change me, hey, I'm going to have a problem. You know, my generation going down is going to have a problem.
Yeah.
My son is going to have a problem. And that problem my son is going to give to his child
And it
who will
goes
pass
on,
it down,
on and
down.
on and on.
You understand? Because, you know, growing up, I realized that my mom, I think my mom was not a happy person. I think a lot happened in her life, probably in her childhood. That it was just not so okay.
So you've never seen your mom happy?
There were days when she was fine.
Fine, not
Fine, not
Happy, okay, there were days when she was happy.
Okay.
But I can say, you know, somebody who carries pain.
in her.
Yeah. Somebody who carries wounds that never healed.
Okay.
You see how she addressed some things. You know, we are siblings and then 4 of us girls and then there's 1 boy. You know where women meet. There's always
Fighting.
the wrestling. You know where women meet. And you know, in any family, you know what, there's no perfect family. A family where there are 4 girls, somebody's definitely gonna fight with somebody who's gonna fight with somebody.
That's how
So
it
that,
goes.
yeah, and they
Stories,
just,
John. Stories.
and you know, I've seen how my mom would address us fighting. That, nah, man. She doesn't even have the energy for this. Because to her it feels like, hey, my mom, when she's born, it was 8 of them. 7 girls, 1 boy.
So it's like it's going to.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
So you
the
see,
cycle.
Yeah,
so
the
you see, my grandmother was this one person. My grandmother, you know, you come with situations to her in most of the time. What I've realized, because now I think when I met her, she was already too old.
okay.
I think now was born late. So, so my grandma has solution would be when you visit the grandmother, it's month end.
And I was the grandmother
You
staying.
Then
Was the grandmother staying?
African also.
That's next to town.
My grandmother was a Xhosa woman.
Yeah.
And then she loved her alcohol, Shem. You bring Ibokwe. Ibokwe is an old back.
Okay.
Okay.
Good try, Bob.
Ibokwe.
Okay.
Old back.
Alright, okay.
You bring that old back and then she keep me and I hear and just drink it. And then she had the son-in-laws who understood that our mother-in-law. You visit her and then you buy just a few beer and then you sit there and drink. Sometimes you come with her with problems. You come to her with problems. She doesn't have the energy for that, or probably she was too old. And then the only thing she would do is to call you. But you're Tengeli Inanzik.
Ibok.
That time, a whole bottle of beer.
Oh, a whole bunch of beer. Okay.
I'm the Tengela. Beer, man, pools. While you are busy stressing and moaning, then she's with her glass and drinking. When you leave, there is problem solved.
Okay.
She didn't like the squabbles in
But going back to.
So I realized that, you know, even my mom, because her mom's approach to problems, her approach to problems, I just see the same thing. So you see, it's that down there, it goes to her. I've seen my sisters, how we confront situations, how they confront situations. I realized, like at home, I'm always a mediator, I'm telling you. I'm always a mediator to a point that sometimes the other one, especially who's on the wrong. They call me an advocate. Yeah. Free advocate. What do you have to say about that?
Okay.
Yeah. So I told myself, not growing up, you know what? I grew up differently. I was going to a different church that they didn't go to at home. It was my neighbor's church. I grew up there. And then it turned me into a different person. I became somebody that they are not. My mind became something that is not here. So I told myself, you know what, I have to keep on this. It feels right. So whenever things happen, like I was told, you just remind yourself that scripture, man. And then you are healed.
Can I get in there? I get the point where you're saying I deal with pain differently. And then I receive news and then I take them as they are. I'm also being influenced by the belief I have and the scriptures I remember that says, you've got to believe in this thing. They do happen. People die, right? You get to understand that. But can we get into the depth of the funeral itself, right? In this instance, I wanted to understand what was going through your mind by the time. Yes, it's fine. You're tough. You're taking it like a Christian, right? Then you move. Life goes on. But I wanted to get to a story where you remember that I met my father after matric, and then I had to mend the relationship. You talked about school, edu loans and everything, and you had to wait and cry before your father comes, and then later on he came, and then you had to go and see the family and so on. But it happens instantly. Can you tell about the call you got, or whatever, if it's not a call? Who told you about the death? Who told you about your dad? By then, what happened that day?
That one is another story. You see, my family from my father's side, ne? Like I never really had a relationship with them when my father was alive.
Oh.
And then my siblings from my father's side. Okay, I knew them. They didn't live far, but we didn't really know one another. Like,
Okay.
there was only this other one that comes. From me, there's another one, and then there's him.
Okay.
He used to come to my home to check up on me.
All right.
And then there's this other brother. While I was young, he used to check up on me until he stopped. I don't know why. So when my father died, the only number I had was his. So I remember he moved from his house and then he went home. His home is in the Free State, by the way. So, the other time he was sick, back in the years, I think it was 2014. And then I took my whole self to go and help look after him. And then his sister was just something else, honestly.
Oh,
I had to sleep with a broken heart because of that woman. Sorry, it sounds bad, but hey.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people have this, but have you ever sat next to somebody? He's quiet, you are quiet, but you are fighting. Do you know that kind of?
Yeah,
I don't know if.
No, it's.
I don't know if everybody ever had that thing, but every time I talk about that, people look at me in a weird way. But my aunt can sit here and then I sit there and then we are fight. I'm quiet. I'm a quiet person. I don't talk until you talk to me. Especially when I'm around new people, it's worse. She'd sit here, and then we tried. I remember one day, it was just randomly in the afternoon, she started shouting, saying, me and my dad, we are irritating her because we are always quiet. She doesn't know what we are thinking.
So irritation comes to when you can say nothing.
I don't know.
Right?
We are always quiet. My father was quiet as well. So I wouldn't understand where I wronged her,
Okay.
But I used to think maybe naturally my mother was not her favorite person. Maybe that's where the problem comes in. I don't know. But so when my dad was sick, he went home. Well, home is to the very same aunt.
Oh, okay.
And then one day I remember my dad called me. It was in December. Saying I should come and help. I straight up told him, I can't come there. The last time I left there, I was in tears, and I was at the point where I told him I need peace at this point, because at that time I was going through my emotional things. I was working in a company, and then
Things
work
happen,
drama,
yeah.
and then suddenly I'm no longer employed, and then I have to go there knowing that that woman, she can just sit next to me, and then we are fighting, and then we are without saying anything, and then should I still go? Then I told my dad, you know what? We have 2 elder daughters. Let them come. I remember the first time you were sick, I went.
Yes.
And I never saw them. We stayed 3 weeks there. I never saw them. So this time, let them come and do their part as well.
Yeah.
So they were staying. Otherwise, the only communication I had was to call him and check him over the phone.
Yeah.
The day he died, me being a good girl, I woke up in the morning, took my phone. I'm name's my dad.
Yeah.
Calling his phone. Sometimes I used to call him Papa, and then every time when I say Papa, he knew that I called my sister's husband Papa.
Oh.
And then he
yes,
would just, hi, Wena. I'm not asking na Papa.
Yeah.
Papa, come and fike.
Yeah.
And then I randomly called, and then I saw that the phone has been answered, but nobody's talking. Papa, in time.
And it was you saying that.
Somebody answered the phone. Apparently it was my sister.
From the father's side.
Yeah. Yo, Ntomzanele. You have to come home now. Pack your things and come home. What? What are you
What do you
saying?
have to pay? Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do
such
you have
messages
to-
are not good, eh?
I don't know, you have to come home. Ke ka ntate wa hao. I didn't take it seriously. I just dropped my phone here.
But something said, what happened? What were you thinking?
And then my sister
Uh,
called me. Nana Shapo. That one, whenever she starts with Nana Shapo, I know something's wrong.
oh, yes.
Okay, no. I'm in my room here, doing nothing. As if they call your father is late. What? How? Now, when a parent dies, ne? He died the day before. On that day before, it was on a Sunday. I was coming from home, coming to Rustenburg.
Okay.
I remember I was in a taxi, and then I felt like let's
Okay.
And I came on my way praying, yo, God keep my mom. Why am I feeling like this? God protect my mom. I'm my only concern to that side. God protect my mom. You, mama. And then the following day, it's my dad who died around about the same time. So the following day, I packed my things and went home the first start. And then when I got there, hey, drama of my life. Hey, when I was last week.
No, man.
Oh, what?
So about the Rakhadi, you know it now.
Nobody told me
Yeah.
that. How these people? How difficult is it to scroll through my father's phone and get my numbers and call me? Because when I call, they heard that it's me. I didn't even introduce myself. And then she instantly said, hi, Ntomzanele, you have to come home. So she knew it's me. It means my numbers are there.
Yeah. So you get the numbers already, like even before.
Why didn't they call me last week that Rakhadi no more? So, I was touched. I don't know. I think it almost took me back.
Yeah.
I don't really matter here. And you know what? At my father's funeral, I started sitting, talking and bonding with my siblings from that side. And then I realized, so these people don't hate me. Then why did we never ever had a relationship? Because it's like there are people who had a different perception about me.
Yeah.
Hey, at my father's home, they used to call me, my mom, they used to call my mom mosadi wa lekgowa, you know. I don't know, maybe back in the days if a woman was working in the government and the man is working in the government, probably you are rich. I don't know, but there was something there. So probably the concept went on to my siblings of, hey, those ones, they are rich, you can't associate
yourselves with them.
you know. So when I got there, they started to know me. I'm one person, man. I like people who are low, humble. You know, people who are being, who that you would never look at and think, these are people, you know, who have been despised for not having. I like those people. I can sit with those people and I can fit in with those people. I find nothing wrong. So the whole time I was with them, I got to know them there, and even realized actually me and them, we kind of have the same character. We are quiet. We don't talk too much. Okay, only my brother who comes before me can talk. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one can choose those for days. He can talk, but the others, nah, they don't talk. There's my brother who's firstborn, and he's the eldest brother. We like the same things. The music I'd listen to, he'd listen to there. And I'm always, wow. I love poetry, so does he. There was a time where I used to love writing poetry. You know, now I was lonely, so my feelings were on a book. Honestly, my feelings were on a book. All my feelings were on a book. So yeah, I realized, that's the same thing with my brother. So I don't know, I just never understand how maybe in the men's world it's normal. You have kids here and then you have kids there, but we never took time to make these kids meet and make these kids have a relationship.
Yeah, and then we need to have conversations and so on.
You understand? I mean, we are siblings after all.
But you see, all these things have to be different round.
I only realized this during the funeral. Oh wow. And then that's when I started communicating with my siblings since then. But all along, and I'm telling you, they were staying here. It's our village. Here is their village. It's just the walking distance. Sometimes I pass them by the streets. Sometimes they pass by my home. I pass by their home.
So it's not but when one place.
They still go back to Ahera with the siblings. So man, I don't know what kind of a world are we living in.
But I don't know, Muruti. I'm also concerned about the healing party because she looks very strong in expressing the story. But at the same time, I'm also concerned because you see people like she said something. I recall. She said, "I can be wronged now. Then in December, I would still say I'm happy about whatever that happened 3 months ago." So I'm also concerned about yourself in that spirit where you say, I respond later, or even later I'll be laughing about what happened. But after the whole funeral, or maybe let me rephrase it like this. How long did it take you to heal, if there's such, for you?
I don't think there's healing after losing a parent. But there's a process where you learn to live without them. Remember, my relationship with my dad started when I was already an adult. So I wasn't too dependent on him.
Oh, yes.
The only thing we had is visiting him, sit down and talk general things and go back home. You understand? So those will be the little things that I miss. So with him, between him and I, like you said, you're concerned about my healing. I'm also concerned about my own healing too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm also concerned about my own healing, but either way, I try my best to move, man, to look past some things, you know, to look deep inside me and feel like, man, you know what, I can't allow myself to live with this gap. You know, I have to move it away. Because that's how life it is. That's how we live actually. We move. Whether there's an elephant on your shoulders, you move.
You move.
Otherwise, you're stuck for life.
But then, what do you take from the relationship that you had with your father? Because probably there must be something that you took. I know you are saying little things. I heard you saying that we had little things, but you know, for some people to tell stories, they will tell you, even if I knew him or her for 2 weeks before she or he died, but I took this and that, be it physical form or be it spiritual form, I don't know how to put it, but is there anything that you would remember and say, I cried but I took this, then I have it with me?
But one thing that I used to tell my siblings, because you know my father was a government employee and then he retired and then 11 years later he died. That person don't even have money. My father, when he retired, he cashed out every policy and every money he had. He cleaned out everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
His funeral, you know what it did? It built the relationship between me and my siblings. This is how it did. It's like somebody expected, this man has money. And if he had money, they were actually the ones who were going to benefit, not me.
Yeah.
And then them benefiting and them having money and whatever. Imagine how they were going to look at me. And then my guy cleaned out the bank accounts.
Nothing.
My guy cleaned out everything. And you know what?
it's a conversation that we had, and it has been hectic in a sense, with laughter there and there. But you would believe that it's funny. You would believe it's nice. But they are told by the owners.
Yeah.
So she's the owner. I believe sometimes you also need to take it out
Yeah.
for you to get healing. Muruti, it's about telling this story to the latter.
Yeah.
We don't get these chances, Kate. We don't.
Yeah. To be documented. Your
Some
story to be
people are
documented.
bottling. We talk of men bottling up, right?
Yeah.
But it's not only about men. It's also about everyone, humans.
Yes.
Let's just say humans. They bottled up a lot.
Yeah.
Be it nice, something nice you want to tell people about, but you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Be it something very tough, you don't talk about it. Be something that is emotional, you want to say it out so people would know, would understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But for having the, I don't know what to say, because you have the heart to say it somehow.
Yeah.
But to have that confidence to come here and then speak about the story that you have, we are not saying thankful as such, but we are saying, may the God of mercy, comfort all these levels where you are. I tend to understand when you speak every time to say, we grow up, we get to a point where we say, we get used. We never get used to these stories. Believe me, you might lose your brother, I might also lose my brother, but we would not be feeling the same pain, would not heal the same. And like you said now,
I think sorry not to cut you, but I think the most important thing is that she was not too much attached to the father.
Yeah.
I think that's where the healing happened, because he was, like she mentioned, that she was not depending too much on him. So that's why I think she managed to, the painful part when you have to heal, or when the pain will hit you, it's whereby you have lived with someone, even the last day when he passed on, then you were there, like you were present. I think that's where now actually you are attached to. Yes, you are. That's when the healing starts to be difficult for you, because of some things you have to start to understand that I have to live without them now. These things I have to. If it was like you wake up early in the morning, you have to eat a breakfast. Now you understand that you have to, like, the person is there, you are here, then you eat breakfast together. Now she's no more, or he's no more. Now you have to eat the breakfast alone. I think that's where the difficulty now. The difficulty hits back. So as for her, it was that much kind of, I think I could say better or something, if I may put it that way, because of the long distance relationship thing. I think that's where now she managed to.
You see, that's why I asked that question about what you take, because I know for some who treasure a week with their parents, you meet your parents on TV sometimes saying, okay, this is, some people confess when they are, I don't know, how do they know they are about to die or what, but it happens. For some people they would say, I'm going, so please, I need to tell you, Muruti, now to tell daughter,
Oh.
Ntombi,
We'll
please.
be gathering all the siblings, all the children, and
Yeah, I
everyone.
tell you, everyone. I know them.
Yeah.
I tell you, we've got Tofato, we've got Taby, we've got Lisbeth. Please check them. They are at Pretoria, KZN. Please know them. They're your brothers. They're your sisters. So these things do happen in that sense. But again, I took something from what you said. Do we have healing when we lose parents? There's something that you share, something like that. Do we really heal if we lose parents? Okay, I don't know. It's one of the points I took, and I said, okay, do people
We
really
heal.
heal from losing parents? Do you really
We
heal?
learn to live with it.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, because you said it's a
heal.
process, like you are saying.
Yeah.
You
You learn to live with it.
Yeah,
We
to
don't
live with
heal.
it. Is it?
It's a wound that never heals. How do you heal from losing a parent? It's not like it's a scratch. It will go. The cells will multiply and go back, and then it closes. That wound will remain open. That gap will always be there.
Mhm.
That I need my father thing will always come to you. That you see, I may not hate a beautiful, that I don't know, too attached relationship with my dad, but you know there were days where you feel like, you know, if I could ask him this, he was gonna see it in a different eye and give me a different
Yeah, a different view.
view. You understand? And then after building a relationship with my siblings while he was here, while he was normal, I feel like, how could have this relationship been if he was here? You know? I mean, I feel like maybe he was gonna do this and that. Maybe he was gonna, you know, it happens.
Do you think
But
you have
we don't-
daddy issues?
Honestly, I don't believe I have daddy issues, because you see, my dad and I were not close. Growing up, my sister's husband became my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So whatever
You had a
mainly
father figure, yeah.
issue, whatever issue that a daughter would communicate with a man,
yeah.
he's made to go to that. Even my dad used to send me to him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, like this man is just took over my responsibility. No. Speak to your dad about that.
Okay.
So
So you didn't have
daddy issues, no, not for me. No, not for me.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful, man. Thank you very much. It has been a very lengthy a chat with you, and I don't know to empathize or sympathize. Not sympathize. Let's say empathize, because empathize when you get to somebody's shoes.
Yes.
But when I sympathize with whatever that you are saying. So we also sympathize with everything that you have said. And Muruti, I think we should just close it off here. It has been a fruitful in a sense for some,
lovely, yes.
because believe me, people who are watching, they would be interested to come also here. Okay, you've got our socials, right?
Yes. If you want to reach us, you can just click on the number on the screen. We are on Instagram, it's Life and Stories. We are on
Twitter.
It's Life and Stories. We are on Facebook, it's Life and Stories. We are on TikTok, it's Life and Stories. I'm
Also
signing
YouTube.
out. Until the next episode.
Ta-da.